Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Pinelli podcast. We've got a solo episode for you today, and I just realized I haven't shut the door to the balcony in front of me. So I'm going to apologize because I'm comfy, I'm ready in the mood to give you this podcast episode, which is actually inspired by a two-part free training that I recently hosted, and I got incredible feedback. It was very, very practical. It's called Hack. It's all about hacking your subconscious mind for your habits to create more success in your life as a high achiever. So, if you want that free two-part training, go to the show notes below because what I'm going to share with you today is a little snippet from day two that I thought I need to turn this into a podcast episode because sometimes when I listen to podcast episodes, I want, if not all the time, if I'm honest, I really want some practical things. And when I created the Jessica Pinelli podcast, I had listened to so many podcasts prior to creating. And one of the biggest things that I thought was lacking in a lot of podcasts, and to be honest, what I think is lacking in a lot of podcasts is yes, there are great conversations, there are great points that you can go and reflect on. But it was kind of, I found that there are podcast episodes that miss a lot of tangible things. Like, okay, this is a great, inspiring talk or conversation. This is something that is really sparking something in me, but give me something tangible. And so I hope that with most of my episodes, majority of my episodes, yes, I will always give you like a little bit of a pep talk or something inspiring to think about. But for majority, I really do want you to walk away from a podcast episode, stop it, and think, okay, this is what I'm going to take action on. And today is just a full action based podcast episode. Like I said, it's taken from a snippet of day two, like part two of the hack training. So if you want the entire experience, and let me just tell you, this isn't a free training. You know, when you sign up to like a free workshop or masterclass, and for my own market research, I've been signing up to a few over the past 12 months, and they are just bland as fuck. They are bland. It's someone telling me about themselves for about 30 minutes. And then, the next section is like a little bit of a concept. And then the last 45 minutes is them trying to sell me. There is no shame in using it as a selling point because it is a lead magnet. For all of you listening that are in business, a free lead magnet like a training or a workshop is a perfect way to capture emails, to build rapport with your audience. And this is definitely something I can do a separate podcast episode on, like a business based podcast episode. However, a couple of months ago, a really well known authority in the business industry online hosted a workshop. It went for just over 2 hours. I put it in two times speed. I watched the replay. And honestly, I think there was about 10 minutes altogether of information. The rest was inspiring talks, sharing her story, and selling. And so, yeah, I think I definitely might do a business based podcast. But the point that I'm trying to make is I really wanted to make this two-part free training juicy. And I give you concepts that I actually teach my clients. So it's not just something that I'm like, okay, this sounds really good to change your mindset and like think better. No, I go through specifically two techniques that only my clients have known up to date. And I was like, you know what? These work so well. These are things that I believe every high achieving woman is going to implement and integrate into their life, is going to radically change how their life turns out, how their mindset turns out, how their success turns out. So I promise you, go and sign up to that 2 day free training. You will get juicy tangibles that you can actually sit down and go away and action. And what I'm going to share with you in today's episode comes at the end of part two, which is all about 5 particular habits that I have been adopting, some for a year or two, others are quite recent, like this year, the first half of the year, that I have found have really made a difference in not only my mental health, my manifestation routine, ritual, whatever you resonate with, but also connecting to my intuition and my self trust. And these are things like when I share them with you, I've got a little bit of a different, for all of you watching on YouTube, I'm just getting up this list so I don't miss any. I've got a little bit of a twist on a couple of them, but I'm always transparent. These are things that they're not groundbreaking. They're not brand new. There's not an original thought. But what I have created is really put my own twist on it as I've been trial and erroring. And I've also, erring, is that the right word? Trial and error. as I've been doing it myself, but also sharing with my clients, I always share with my private clients or my mastermind clients because I'm like, all right, this is great. This has been working for me for like 90 days. Can you go give it a shot and tell me? And so here are 5 habits that are going to help you master your mind and have control over your life, but also make you feel more in tune with your future and your future self and your intuition. And I think, part of all of this work is, if not the biggest part that I've always said, is developing the relationship that you have with yourself. And these are really going to help. Promise you, you can implement all 5 in a day. It's nothing that's going to be like an 8-hour morning routine. But if you are like, okay, I don't know where to start, just start with one, implement one, and just keep adding, keep habit stacking, set a challenge for yourself. Maybe, what do we got? 6 months left of the year, 5 months left of the year. There's 5 of these. Do one every 30 days and see if you can have it stack. But the first one is a nighttime future visualization meditation. Again, nothing brand new, but the way that I've been doing it, as Joe Dispenza calls them, mind movies. I think I have at the moment 3 mind movies of very particular visions that I have for my future self. Some are around, one's around a materialistic item, one's around money, and one's around relationship and connection. And when I am falling asleep, because you go to in the theta state where your subconscious mind is more vulnerable and it takes on what you're impressing into it. And remember, the subconscious mind doesn't know what is real and what is fake. So, whatever you're going to be telling your subconscious mind, that is going to happen. So, the nighttime future visualization meditation, I will pick one of these mind movies, only one, and I will go in grave detail in my mind. Like, for example, if you are wanting to manifest a certain type of car, what's the car look like? Is your mind movie you picking it up from the dealership? Is it getting delivered to your house or apartment? Are you cutting off the bow? Are you unveiling it at the car dealership? Like, what is that mind movie? Lock it into your mind and play it in your mind when you fall asleep, but with the emotions. And quite literally, if that had happened, like, you want to come from it from the point of view where, and you can do this at any point in the day, but why it's important when you're falling asleep is because your subconscious mind is more vulnerable. But you really want to act as if it's already happened and you're just playing a memory. And again, you have probably heard this, but how often are you actually doing it? Are you doing it consistently? And so I want you to lock in those mind movies, even if you're just starting with one, whatever that may be, and really feel into it. Pretend it is a memory, like it's already happened. And the subconscious mind takes that on. And the way that it works, it doesn't mean that you wake up the next week and then all of a sudden you get those random calls like, you have this car. It's like, okay, I haven't paid money, I haven't entered any competition. No, but your intuition, aka your subconscious mind, will start to drop hints on ways to get that. You don't always, if we're rolling with this example, it doesn't mean that you always need that X amount of money to buy that car. Maybe you get led to a competition that you win. Maybe you inherit money. Maybe there's a car swap with your old car and that your dream car happens to be part of that. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. So you need to leave it up to your subconscious mind, but you also need to listen to your intuition. And like I said, hack the free 2-part training that you can get in the show notes below. This is going to really show you techniques that's going to not only help you develop your subconscious mind into your conscious mind, but also help you develop your intuition. So that's number 1. Number 2, this is a recent addition and I'm loving it. So you have probably all heard about EFT tapping. And if you don't, do a little search. I think I've done a couple of podcasts on it, but basically you're tapping into the different energetic fields. Now, I do love it. Okay, let me back up for a second. I trialed it a couple of years ago and I just couldn't stay consistent with it. I wasn't really connecting to it. And if you're not connecting with something that you're trying to tap in, like a different way of thinking and feeling, you're never going to think and feel that way. So I actually stopped it for a couple of years, recently felt the pull to get back into it. But in my time away in Perth, if you follow me on Instagram, I was in my hometown, Perth, for just over a month. I was dog sitting. But I was going on like 4 walks a day sometimes because I was looking after 2 dogs. Most of the time, my sister and her partner's dog, but then also our family dog when my dad worked away. And the reason I had to do 2 walks is because my sister's dog is basically that puppy energy stage, and our family dog is an older dog, right? So 2 completely different paces. Really good for my mental health and getting up my steps every day. But what I started to do was incorporate a walking EFT meditation. And I haven't heard anyone talking about this. Tapping on your hand, like I'm going to share with you, it's not, I didn't make that up, but in this way, I haven't heard anyone speak about it. So basically, when you're doing a walking EFT tapping, it's not like you're tapping your head and your cheeks and your chin and all of that. You were just tapping your fingers. So again, you can look this up. Just go to Google EFT hand tapping. You'll see the points. But basically, here on YouTube, you can see me. You'll tap, sorry, the side of your thumb first, and then you'll use your thumb, and then you'll start tapping all of the other fingers. As I am tapping all of the other fingers, what I will say, I will tap in the affirmations that feel really abundant, that feel really good inside my body. And if at any time I start to feel in my stomach or my heart space, like I have a bit of anxiety or any guilt or any doubt about what I'm tapping in, I will just tap and change my affirmation to I'm tapping away that doubt. I'm tapping away any anxiety that I'm holding, and I'm tapping into my wealthiest timeline. Like that's quite literally what I'm doing. And at the same time, I will put in a frequency. So I've been listening to 888 hertz frequency, which is the abundance frequency. And I don't know, on a walk, it's just so meditative. I love it. And I feel like it really, especially at the start of my day, really sets the tone for my mindset. It really sets the tone for my intention and what I'm bringing in. And you can do it several times a day. And if you don't want to do it walking, you can quite literally just tap whilst you're on the couch watching TV or, whilst you're cooking, whatever it may be. But this has been a really effective one. Number 3, 10-minute daily yoga sessions. So daily yoga has become a non-negotiable in my lifestyle. I started it a couple of months ago as a 30-day challenge to do yoga every day. And it was like either 10 minutes or I can go to a class, which is like an hour, 90 minutes. And it's just something that I've reconnected to. When I moved to Bali in 2019 and I started my business, I fell in love with yoga. Go figure, in Bali, right? But what hindsight has shown me is it really allowed me to connect to my feminine energy. I'm quite masculine energy based. And it really just allowed me to trust myself, to be in flow, connect to my heart. And I found doing the 30-day challenge, I was like, I am feeling more receptive to my ideas. I'm feeling more open. I feel like I'm also allowing myself to release any stagnant energy. And so I will hold myself accountable to do at least 10 minutes every single day. Super easy. Just go onto YouTube, write 10-minute yoga flow, and I will do that. And then other days, like the past 2 days, I've gone to classes, 60-minute classes. It's just really what I'm feeling. But that helps you master your mindset because number one, you're very, very present. But number two, it's helping you release stagnant energy. And a lot of us will, no matter what we do every day, but we will be sitting or we will be festering on something, big or small. And so we need to release that stagnant energy. Number 4, this is a no brainer, but this is also a reminder: no social media for 1 to 3 hours after waking up. I am an early riser, so sometimes I'll get up at like 5 a.m. So I make it a habit because I wake up so early, 5 or 6 a.m. I won't check any social media till about 8, 9 a.m. Sometimes on the weekend, I won't go onto any social media till like 11 a.m. And this one is really a no brainer. When you wake up and the first thing you're doing is scrolling on your phone, taking in everything that's on your newsfeed, it doesn't matter how curated your newsfeed is, you are still taking on other people's energies, other people's bullshit. You are consuming, and before you know it, you have a very what's like it brings about brain fog, I believe. And I notice it, I'm not perfect on this. And I will have days where I'll go straight, maybe I'll wake up and make my coffee and it's 6:30 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I'll just have a quick little scroll, check my DMs. And I noticed the quality difference in my mindset. So yes, it sounds hard, but also it's really easy. Just don't check your phone. You don't need to be on social media. My for like you can check your text. I checks my text, but it doesn't mean I respond to people. I probably don't until like mid-morning, lunchtime, afternoon, especially if it's not an emergency. On top of that, my phone is always on do not disturb. And before I get, oh, can people ring? Yes. My emergency contacts are all starred. They can all ring through, they can all text through if they need to. But the thing is, the more that we create separation with this thing, our phone, the more that we can have clarity in our mind. We are now living in the age where technology is more prevalent than ever. And it's great. Like, I love what's happening with technology. I love the way it's going in the future. Some of you may agree, but this is just the way we're evolving as a species, right? However, I think being able to create some separation is absolutely important to have clarity in the mind, but also as a creative, as a business owner, maybe, you don't even have to be that. But like, what are your own ideas? What are your own belief systems? What do you believe in? How do you want to start your day? Start to create that space. And then the last one that I'm going to share with you is called a 5 minute daily expander session. This is where for 5 minutes a day, or you can do it longer, but I think like just to add it in your routine, for 5 minutes a day, you go and expand yourself. So you actively go, and there's a couple of people. So, for example, expanders for me that I don't know personally are Iman Gadzi and Cody Sanchez. I think that's her name, right? Male and female there. So every day I will consume a little bit of their content, whether it's it more so like their spoken content, so video content, or their lifestyle content, and I will allow it to expand me. I'll allow it to expand me and show me what, yes, the amount of money and wealth, but also the way that they are holding themselves, the people that they're surrounding themselves with, their perspectives. And again, you can do this for longer in your day, but I think 5 minutes to really put yourself in the energy and feed your subconscious mind the evidence of what's possible. And again, it doesn't mean you need to go look at billionaires, especially if that's not your goal. If your ultimate goal is go and live in Hawaii and surf every day, go, that's your expander. Go type into YouTube women or men who surf every day in Hawaii, or lifestyle, whatever it may be. Like, that's your expander. Find what your version of success is. Search for people that are doing it and doing it congruently, and you feel good. Like, you get good energy when you watch them and when you consume them, and consume them every single day. Because if you're not exposing yourself to it enough, it's going to feel like it's so far away. Part of being able to bring in all of your desires is subconsciously normalizing the fact you can't be wanting to bring in $10,000 a month in your business and think that $10,000 is a ridiculous, like outrageous amount of money. Like, it's insane. Like, your body is just going to be putting it on a pedestal, your nervous system. And this is a whole other conversation. So definitely slide into my DMs, or if you're watching here on YouTube, let me know in the comments below if you want me to speak about that. But I think that's really, really important to understand is, what we are feeding our subconscious mind, what it's taking on as fact, but also the evidence that we want to share with it. So these are 5 things you can start to add into your day today. And again, if you feel a little bit overwhelmed, add one every single month for the rest of the year and see how you go, and really challenge yourself. All of these are created to be able to expand your subconscious mind, to be able to change your habits for success, and also just deepen that connection you have with yourself, that connection you have with your intuition, and the relationship that you have for self. And if you want to learn more, definitely go to the show notes, sign up to the 2-part free training hack. It's incredible. Like, this should probably be a free train free. It is a free training. This should probably be a paid training. That is how much is in it. I give you techniques I only give to my clients. So you will absolutely love this. And as always, if you love the podcast, oh my God, actually, I need to thank you all. I need to give you all so much love and gratitude. So I have shared a few times, but if you're new and this, maybe you haven't listened to the episode, I have shared it. Back in 2020, I went super, super viral. You can just write Jess Pinili COVID into Google. And I went super, super viral. I got a bunch of haters, like, I mean, thousands and thousands of haters. And so everyone was going on to the podcast and they were writing really bad reviews. You will even see some are still up. Reviews on the podcast, they were rating it 1 star, and it took months and months and months for Apple to actually get back to me, take down some of the rate. Like, I had to prove with like news articles and stuff like that it was cyberbullying, but I was never able to restore my 5-star rating. And so for the longest time, it's been like 3.2 or 3.4. On desktop, it's yet to translate into mobile, but you guys have pushed me back up to 4 stars. And I know that may not seem like a big deal because it's like, oh, 4 stars. But that just means it's like quite literally since 2020 taken 4 years to move from like 3.2 up to 4 stars. And I hope to bring the podcast back to 5 stars because it allows the podcast to be pushed out to more high achieving, success driven women, for women who need to hear this message. And everything that I share in here, I absolutely love it. I found my spark again with this podcast. And this year has been so magical being able to interview so many incredible people. So I want to thank you all for doing that. And if you are here on YouTube, I would love it if you would hit subscribe as well. It means so much to me. So thank you so much, guys. I love you all. And I will speak to you in the next episode. Bye.